It's your girl Coco Kinsey back at it with another video, guys. So I hope that everyone's weekend is off to an amazing start. I hope you get a chance to relax, detox, reset, and most of all, I hope that you are subscribed to this channel. If you are not already, make sure you take the time to click that button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. But let's just get into it, guys. So earlier today, I was listening to, I listen to my little podcast. I have my little true crime, and sometimes I venture off into other things. One of those is I Am Athlete. So I was listening to I Am Athlete, and one of the questions that came up from the panel was, where does sex rank in your relationship, in relation to your connection with your partner or potential partner? And call me naive, stupid, I don't know, but I was shocked that everyone, with the exception of one young lady, I don't know what her answer was, but everyone's answer, including another young lady's answer, was sex was number one. Sex was number one. Everyone said sex is number one. They said the sex is not good. They cannot go anywhere. They can't proceed. They don't want to proceed. It was just done data. So the lady, who I'm not quite sure where hers ranked, she did kind of throw out the question like, not in your top 5, top 3. And I was like, of course, that made me pause and kind of reflect and say, well, where does it rank for me? So again, I want to hear what you guys say in the comments. No judgment at all. Hey, what you do is your business. But for me, when I start reflecting, sex was not number one. It was not, I don't even know necessarily if it was number 2, but we're going to get into that. For me, number 1 was respect. And respect because it encompasses so much. First of all, because we don't respect or have a respect for one another, we can't lay down together. We just can't. And I don't know, of course, you grow, more as an adult, as you get deeper into adulthood, but just a respect for one another, respect for how we talk to each other, respect for boundaries. When we talk about faith, when we talk about cultural differences, how we were raised, all these things that don't have to be alike. Now, that's a whole nother conversation where sometimes you may want to be equally yoked. But there are times where it's just, again, that respect of having a respect for one another and who one another is, because sometimes they can be misunderstandings. It can be a lot of things that come to play that become an issue that wouldn't be necessarily so much of an issue if the respect was there. So then from there, because respect encompasses a lot, I thought it just took care of a lot of things. So that's why that was my number 1. Number 2, then, ironically enough, because the other lady who did say that sex was number 1 for her, she said sex was number 1 for her as far as a connection to her partner because physical touch was her love language. Now, for me, when you start talking about physical touch being your love language, I think of physical touch so much more than sex, because that's why number 2 for me was intimacy. Knowing when to hold or hug, knowing when to sit with one another, just knowing when to be there and take up one another's space. And that can go well beyond sex. Sex can be great, but also intimacy can be so much more, because before we even get to a point of sex, I would hope, it doesn't always have to be the case. And again, no judgment. This is not the place for that. But intimacy, that I would hope that you've reached that level of intimacy before we even get to that point. Because intimacy can be such a beautiful thing. And then that in turn can make sex much better. But it just made me thought, again, a lot of us are here because a lot of the people who have subscribed to my channel are from Love Island fans. So if you're a Love Island fan, but you don't have to be a Love Island fan, okay, guys? But one of the questions that's brought up every year, somewhat into the conversation, is like, what are your favorite positions? Those kind of things. So a common answer that comes up, and you hear it from guys all the time, is doggy style. So again, as we're talking about intimacy, I bring this up because to me, it was so interesting as I hear guys when they're talking about sex and what, a female may think of sex and versus what a male, some males, not all, and females, everybody's different, but the difference of what they think of sex. Because I like so many guys, you can hear doggy style, and that's just lacks intimacy. You're not looking, you don't want to see you don't want to put a face to it. It just lacks that time to really, really connect. Now, some guys may say different. If you could say it in the comments, just be respectful. But, so for me, sometimes just that intimacy can be so, so beautiful, and just, it leaves room to grow a lot of different ways. And sex, again, everybody's different. Some people are more experienced than others, okay? And that's no judgment, but like, cause I feel like if you respect the person, if you love them enough, you know, you can teach them what your needs, what you want. But again, just having that respect, then on top of that, having that intimacy where you feel comfortable enough to even, you know, say what your needs are, say what you want. But again, you got to have that respect. Gotta have that intimacy. These are just my opinions. This doesn't make it so. You guys feel free to let me know in the comments how you feel. Then number 3 for me, because I'm only doing my top 3. Number 3 for me was fun. Fun. Because I mean, so much life can be so deep, especially when you talk about a partner. By the time we start talking about a partner, that means we're growing together. We've been together typically, you know, hopefully, like if you start talking about your life partner, that means we've been together. We're growing together. That means we're going to go through trials and tribulations together. Well, you got to come up out of that sometimes. You can't really avoid some things. Some things just happen in life. It is what it is. There's sickness, there's death, there's all these things that are in the world around us. Sometimes financial things can come up. But on the base, the foundation, again, just having that respect, intimacy and fun, being able to laugh, being able to see the light in it all is so important, because when you can smile about some things, then it makes those tough times just a little bit easier to kind of walk into those conversations. And just when it does get tough, you know that, okay, well, this person loves me. We're going to be able to laugh about this later, probably, hopefully. But just, you know, you just have, again, like when you can have fun together, you just have truly just a respect for one another's humor. But you gotta have fun. You gotta find ways to keep it fun. I know as we get older and we have families, jobs, we have all these things that can make it so tiresome. We don't feel like doing things. Maybe you suffer from anxiety, maybe something stops you from kind of being the person that, especially a lot of times if you've been, like my husband and I have been together for 10 years. So, you know, we've grown together. We've been able to see so many things, and we're so different because now we're 3 kids in. So I'm not necessarily the same person I was when he met me because I was kidless. And so, you know, we were able to have more fun and do more things that maybe now you have to pencil in a little bit more. I suffer from anxiety sometimes, so it can be really like, something that helps me is just writing stuff down and planning stuff out. Not that kind of stuff. I don't need that much planning. But again, if you do, then hey, you know, whatever works for you. But even just kind of knowing, okay, well, we're going to do movie night this night. And again, this is just for me because I suffer from anxiety. So maybe like you don't need all that. But for me, like having like a plan, okay, well, I know we're going to do this. This is something that we'll do together. So again, that's that respect that's setting those moments of intimacy where we're together. And then again, setting the time for fun, setting a time for taking the bills off the table, to even taking the kids out of the equation. Having that time just for you guys so you can have fun. And then if you do have children, then that fun, it trickles down to the kids. So then in turn, you can be your best self for them and you can have fun with them. So sometimes the fun can encompass the kids, you know, other family members. And then sometimes just when you guys have that foundation of that, it makes it so much harder to break when your person is somebody who you enjoy being around, who you respect and they respect, and when you have that level of intimacy that nobody else can come in between. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments. What are your top 3? If you agree, if you don't, no judgment. Leave it all in the comments, and I will be back at you guys with another video real soon. You guys have a great weekend and a great night. Be checking in with you guys real soon.